Yeah, can. Live there, yeah.
Shalom Israel. We are the I.S.U.P.K out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding Gen.YAHANNA. We've been teaching this truth since 1969 that the so-called blacks, so-called Hispanics, so-called Native Indians are the lost 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. Tonight is our Hebrew class, or Lashawan Qadash, which really means the holy tongue, right? And tonight we're going to learn our history and our heritage in terms of our language. And this is where we're able to get better understanding, even reading the scriptures, of who we are as a people. And not only that, what our language was before we came into this so-called slavery that we're in right now. And the language that we speak is not our true tongue. It's not our native tongue. This is the language or the tongue of our oppressor. Alright? So tonight we're going to continue from where we will finish last week, which means where we started with the alphabet. And we're just going to run through it and then move on to some other contexts where we're going to establish the language a lot more better. Alright? So we're just going to finish up here with the alphabet, which is important. It's the building block. Right? It's the building block for any language. But more important for our language, it's needed. Right? Again, we are not affiliated with any religious group or organization. Right? Talza. Qua. Ra. Sha. Fa. Alright, so this is the ancient Hebrew alphabet. As we did last week, we're going to quickly just run through and just...
So when you're facing the board, no, when you're facing the board, everything will go in that
direction,
direction, right?
Come. Yeah, so we just want to be able to run back through what we did last week. And as I said, the basics is basically the alphabet. From there, then we're able to move on in the construction of words and meanings and what and where they are and how they fit in. Yeah. So what? Alright? First of all, we're going to run back through the alphabet. Let's quickly. You have it here on the sheet. For those who may be able to see it on the YouTube. Alright? Like, share, and subscribe to all our pages. I.S.U.P.K.com. Alright, we have Monday class in the Trinidad local camp. We have classes on Sundays, Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays. Thursdays we have the GEN.YAHANNA scripture breakdown class. Friday, Lashawan Qadash. Saturday, Sabbath. So I'll just repeat it again at the end of this class so you can get a better understanding. If you need any information, you can log on to I.S.U.P.K Trinidad and Tobago. We have our camp leader, Officer Galawan. You'll get any and all information that you need in regards to our local school. If you will have any information, you can type it in on the Facebook. You know, let's hear what questions you may have. Check it out on the Facebook. Type it in. If you want to find out a question, probably about a word, what it means, or you could contact us to learn your ancient language, please hit us up. Alright, so we're going to go through today again. Again, like, share, and subscribe to our Facebook page, YouTube, and every other social media. We have our Instagram. Oh, it's nothing. Yeah. Instagram, what other platform? Instagram, Twitter as well. Could you just tell me the handles for Instagram and Twitter? Babu Kusha. I can. And Right. So we have it now. Just repeating from last week, just to keep it fresh on our minds. We have A. Now this is the ancient Hebrew, right? We have the ancient Hebrew and we have the Assyrian. Alright? So I just write out the ancient Hebrew and we also do the Assyrian possibly after. But just for clarity, let's go through this here one more time. We have A. We have A, Ba, Ga, Da, Ha. Wa, Za, Ka. And this Ka is not just Ka, it's Ka. Wa, Za, Ka. Ta, Ya. Ka, La. Ma, Na. Sa, I.Pa. Ta, Za, Kwa. Ra, Sha, Ta. Alright? So this is just the basic building blocks for the Hebrew language. Right? So we're going to go in a little deeper in the construct of it so that we'll be able to get a better understanding of where we are. Alright? So, what we're going to do now is to go in a little deeper in the construct of this. Because each letter has a meaning. And what we're going to get into now is understand two sets, which are what we call prefixes and suffixes. Alright, I don't know if anybody could pull up what is a prefix, what is a suffix, so at least the YouTube and Facebook will be able to get a better understanding of what a prefix is and what a suffix is. Babokosha. Right, so we have prefix, right? So we're going to write down the prefixes, all right? And we start with A. What right here now is this is the ancient and this is the Assyrian. Alright? The ancient in left, Assyrian in right. So we have the A. And A in the Hebrew script, right, means I or I am. A means ancient. This is the pictograph we write it. This is the Assyrian, ancient and Assyrian. A means I or I am. So in the construct of sentences or words, A at the beginning of the word means I or I am. So yeah, anybody have the definition of a prefix? So let me hear the first one. Let's make it a little louder so those on YouTube.
To fix or appoint beforehand.
To affix and appoint beforehand.
Yeah, to fix
right.
Appoint beforehand. This one is Merriam-Webster.
Merriam-Webster?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see, there's another.
And the noun, it says, an affix attached to the beginning of a word, base or phrase, and serving to produce a derivative word or an inflection from.
Right. So read the first part again a little bit louder.
This one. No.
The second one here,
Definition of prefix. An affix attached to the beginning of a word, base or phrase, and serving to produce a derivative word or an inflection from.
Right, so it's affixed to the beginning of a word. Alright? So this gives the word context. Alright? So when you see this word is at the beginning or in the construct of a word, right, it gives it a particular meaning. Alright? So this word are. So if you're saying it in the aspect of it being in a word, you say are. Right? So this word are means I or I am. So the definition of a prefix is something that is constructed or is put in the beginning of a word so that it will have context. Alright? So if are, which means I or I am. The second one we have is ba. Right? As we go through the alphabet, a, ba, ga, da. But we only have a few prefixes running through the alphabet. So you have a, now we have ba. Again, ba is this is the ancient, this is the Assyrian. Alright? So ba means in. So again, in context, you'll be able to use it in a word. Baha, Bahashem, in the name. You understand? As going further, we'll be able to put it in context. So, because we will go in the construction of some words that will be able to see how these prefixes are used. Alright? So once we go through the prefixes, then we'll go through the other aspects of words called suffixes. Alright? So we'll get to that in a little bit. So we have a, we have ba. Ba means in. As I said before, Bahashem, in the name. Hashem means in the name. Right? Bahashem, Yahweh, in the name of Christ. Right? So we have ba, which is in. We have other one, which is da. So what you all need to do is get your notebook, your notepad, and just get these, take down these notes. I'll give you some time on your YouTube and on your Facebook to copy it. Alright? Just to take it in. Because these are words that we'll be using in our everyday life. At our native tongue, our native language, we have to come back to that point where we are able to learn our native language, our native tongue. Right? Simple words. I am, in. These are very basic construct words in producing any sentence. I am. You understand? I'm in, or like in, like to come in. Alright? These are basic words. Alright? Again, like, share, and subscribe. And then we'll be able to see and understand all what we need to so that we'll be able to understand and get back to our native language. So you have a, ba, we now have da. Da means do. Alright? Da, do. It means do. Alright, so again, you have, according to the tense that you're using these letters, then you'll be able to understand the construct of what the word is, whether it's in the present tense or the past tense, whether it's the singular or plural, also whether it's the masculine form or the feminine form. So as we're going through, you'll be able to see and understand where these words and how these words can be applied in our vocabulary, in our conversation when we're speaking to each other. So we have here a, right? Ancient and Hebrew. A means I or I am. Ba. Ba means in, right? We have da. Da means do. Right? When it begins or comes into the construct of a word, right? As well, we'll move on to, we have Right, we have ha. Right. This is ha. And ha means the. Again, basic building blocks for any language. So as much as people may think that, you know, ancient Hebrew is as difficult as it is, again, the language is, I don't want to call it primitive, but it's simplistic in its nature, where it can be able to be used very naturally without, you know, trying to learn Greek or one of those other bastard type languages. All right. So here we have ba, da, ha. A means I or I am. Ba means in. Do, or I should say da, means do. And ha means the. So what I'll do, I'll just give you all a few minutes just to jot this down. Alright? Once that is done, I'll just move on to the other constructs. Let's share this here. Right. Again, like and share this page so that I'll be able to get back to our basic understanding of our language and our customs. Right. So I'll just take this off. Let's go also into the other. Now, bear this in mind, everything that we're learning here now, I'm going to show you how these letters can be used in sentences and the tenses that they can be applied in. Right? So right now we're going through the prefixes. Alright? Still have a few more to go. So we have, you know, we have wa, wa means and. Right? So I have a few I'm already both ancient and the Assyrian. These here. Right, so we have za, right, and we have the ka. Right. So the za, ka. Now remember, as I said, a prefix, these are what I put or appear in the front of the word in the context. Right? So we have wa, now we have za, so like here, not za. This is actually supposed to be ya. Right, so this is ancient Syrian. This is ya. Now there's two variations, so I'll show you so that you won't get confused when you reach the other aspect. Right? And we have ka. So there's he. The other one is as or like. Alright. So now we're going to see here again another one of the prefix, which is wa, the ancient Assyrian. Wa, in context, means and. You understand? Wa, pronounced wa. Ancient and Assyrian. Ya. Ya means he in the Hebrew. He. Ya. Now we have ka. Understand? Ka also mean as or like. As or like, depending on the context. Alright, now if you have any questions, anybody have any questions, you can just hear them out and answer them as best as possible. Alright? So I'll give you some time to jot these down. It's good. So just let me know when you finish, right? That's about it?
Yeah.
You let me know when you finish, right? So I'll be able to move on. No sweat.
Yeah.
Good?
Yeah.
Alright, nice. Cool, so this remind one more time, I'll run back to it. We have wa, which means and, ya, which means he, and ka, which means as or like, depending on the context. Right, so I'll take this off, and then I'll try a few more. So, question. What does mean? If anybody is able to. As a prefix, That's right, I or I am. Right, just to run back through quickly. Ba, if anybody can remember.
Ba means in.
Ba means in. Alright, let's see. Ya.
Ya means he.
He. Right. So again, it is simple, but the more you say it, the more you repeat it, is the more it's committed to memory. And that is what you need to do. Practice, more practice. So-called black, so-called Hispanic, so-called Native Indian, our tongue, Lashawan, Qadash, is our ancient language. So all we need to do is just get back familiar with that, because everybody else have their language and their custom. The East Indian have their language, Chinese, so-called white man, Scandinavian, African, no matter who you call them, they have their language. You, so-called black man, Hispanic and Native Indian, we are the ones who have lost or have been enslaved out of our language. Alright? So here in the I.S.U.P.K, we're going to get back and get an understanding. So you get to see again. So the next one is the next few. We have is La. I'm just going to do about 3 at a time. Actually, I think I probably could. I don't have more. Right, so I'll put this one here. Alright. This is a few more. Alright, so we have the La, and then I just write in the Assyrian. Right, and we have the Tha. Right, so we have here, we have La, Ma, Sha, and Tha. Pronounce Tha. Have just checking the can Tobago. Yeah, just check on the inside. Supposed to see one. So you all just let me know if you're able to see it on the Facebook and the YouTube. Again, share, like, and subscribe. See it? No? Alright. And I think I see it here. I just want to make sure that it's able to. I'm going to give this one a try. See how it works. So, wow. Right, so we have La. Ma, Sha, and Tha. So we're going with the first one, which is the La. So La means 2 or 4. Right? 2 or 4 means of or from. And if you will see that better on the Facebook. Sha or Sha means we have whom, which. So I get this. Or we have or that pertaining to. Right? Whom, who, which, or that pertaining to. Alright, so you get the understanding of that. And the last one you have is Tha, which means thou or thee. Alright? So, again, basic building blocks. We have la, which means 2 or 4, depending on the context. If it's in the future, past, singular or plural. We have ma, which is of or from. Again, all depends on the context in which you're speaking. Then you have sha, which means whom or which, or that pertaining to. Right? Either or. And we have tha, pronounced tha. We have ancient and Assyrian, which means thou or thee. Right? Oh. Better find it. Let me see. Or just see if it, let's look at see if we get one on oh yes. Try that one and see. Now, just one at a time. See which is which. Right. Right. Should be able to see if we get a better view from that glare. Yeah, the glare. This one. Yeah. Alright, so we have, as we come back in, we have la, 2 or 4, ma, of or from, sha, which means could be whom, which, or that pertaining to, or tha, which means thou or thee. Alright, so we're going to see now. Now that's for this part here, which are the prefixes. Alright? Why is I writing up others? Is it finished or is still writing?
Finish.
Alright. On the back. Alright, so why is it still, if anybody online will still get this little piece here, what I'm going to do now is go to the other part, which are the suffixes. So if Babu could share, somebody could pull up the meaning of a suffix, so you can get that understanding once more. So we had prefixes, right? Or prefix. Now we're going to have what we call the suffix. Right? And the suffix is also going to give the word, when it's used, a different context. So now, we have here what we call suffix. Now, again, some of these same words you will see now how it's important to understand what is a prefix, what is the suffix. Right. So we have anybody get the definition of a suffix? Babu Kisha?
Suffix.
Alright, go ahead. Water.
A morpheme added at the end of a word to form a derivative.
So like, let's say it a little louder. So those on Facebook will be able to hear.
A morpheme added at the end of a word to form a derivative.
A what? A more?
Morpheme.
A morpheme.
Yeah.
Right? A morpheme, go ahead.
Added
At
the end of a word.
At the end of a word, right?
To form
a
derivative.
To form a derivative. So when these suffixes are added to the end of a word, right, it gives a derivative of the word, and basically another meaning. It change the meaning or change the context of what is being said. So for instance, alahaya or alahayam. You understand? There's a big difference. You understand? So as we go through, and we start to use these words in construction of words, then you'll be able to get the understanding of what these words are. That is why when there are translations, if you don't understand these basic principles, you will totally misinterpret words. You understand? So, I was looking on YouTube now. I bet I was still getting. Yeah, see Facebook. I want to look on Facebook. So now. Right. So. You have the wa.
Yes, then
Yeah. But I was saying kind of saying it here. So in terms of
how figure it lagging behind on the Facebook.
Yeah.
With live, then you will see how it actually.
I can't. So what? So now we have the ya. So ya means man. Now in previous, what did the ya mean? If anybody can remember, as a prefix. What the ya meant as a prefix. He. Right? So it's important to understand. Now a prefix is attached to the beginning of a word. A suffix is at the end. So you see where there are totally different contexts of that same letter in the construction of a word according to where it's placed. Then you will see the words change. Right? Let's read one more time the definition of a suffix. Babukusha.
Suffix. A morpheme added at the end of a word.
Right? Added at the end of a word. To form
a derivative.
A derivative. Right? So it's added at the end of a word to form a derivative. Right? And now we have the wa. Right, so wa is he. Right? He is it. Right. So let's go in a little bit deeper now. We have ya before Yah was he in the pretext. Now we have here Yah as a suffix at the end of a word. It means my. You understand? My. Also now we have ka, also being used as a suffix at the end of a word to help change the meaning, which means can either mean you or your. You understand? In the plural, or you could add it in singular or the plural in past or future tense, according to how it's being used. So we have you or your. We have here now ha. Ha, in this case, is used in the feminine sense as a suffix. Ha, which means her, at the end of a word. And we have now wa, right? Which means he, his, or it. Right? And that is critical in understanding our language. Those basic constructs, those basic building blocks, if we do not understand them, this is where we won't be able to get it properly. Right? So you have them right on any
Yeah.
to why. So we just move on. Translate it between these basic building blocks. To get back to our native tongue. I give you the I.S.U.P.K. out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yohanna. We have been teaching this truth since 1969. That the so-called blacks, so-called Hispanics, so-called native Indians, we are the lost 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. Right? So you'll get a few more of these suffix. Right, so we have a different now. So we have so when I get these here that will actually show you a different context. We have right, so I'll probably just start with these. Give that more space. Alright, so this is the ancient. Now we're going to write the Assyrian. Let me get this out. Let's try this one. So we're going to have it here now again. Right? Showing the difference between the Assyrian and the Hebrew. Alright. Right, so we're gonna get that done here. So we're gonna get this too. Right. Right, so we have here. Now these words are constructed together. So we have two letters coming together now to form a particular word as a suffix. So we have our first one, which is Nawa. This is Na, and this is Wa. Nawa. Right? And Nawa means hour. Right? Nawa means hour. Now come. Come. Right, so come and can in the context of both of them, we have your, we have your. Now we have these two words, we have come and can. So both of them means your, but if anybody could, what do you think is the difference between this one and this one? You have to make a wild guess. Both of them means your, but it's just different how I should put it without saying it out. Different genders. If that probably might give it away. Alright? So we have come, which means your, and can, which means your. But in context, we have one which is masculine plural, and one is feminine. Alright? So we have the masculine plural, we have the feminine plural. That is these two constructs of these words. So when these are being used in a sentence, we have kawa, right, as ka, wa, aside nawa, we have na, wa, this is the ancient, this is the Assyrian, nawa, which means hour, right? When we say the Lord's Prayer, give us this day our daily bread, right? In the construct, this nawa means hour. We have kam. Again, this is the Assyrian, we have ancient. Now, in this case, we have ka and we have ma. But we have what we call this here, this connector, which joins the word or joins the letters. And because it joins the letter, it drops off the A, which changes the context. So you have ka, so it's kam. When it's connected, is it? Instead of kama. So this is kam, it's pronounced kam, which means yo in the masculine plural. And we have kan, again ka, in connector, join it, changes the pronunciation of the word. So it's not kana, it's kam. Alright? Which also means yo, but in the feminine aspect. Feminine plural. So that's it too. Alright? So I don't know if you all have done this already. If you all have it down, I'll just get this off so we can move on to another. The last few of these suffixes. If you want to put it like that. Still taking them down, or are you good?
Yeah.
Good?
Yeah.
Those who on Facebook, you type in questions you may have in relation to this. Definitely we'll be able to get in contact with you. You can contact the school directly or Camp Leader Officer Lashawan. Let's go on the I.S.U.P.K Trinidad page. We have all the information there. On Facebook, also on YouTube, Twitter, and the other accounts that we have. Instagram. Right, so we have we'll probably use this one. See, that would be better, right? So we have ancient Assyrian, ancient Assyrian. So we have ma, na. In the suffix form, so I don't know if you get like this. This means there. There. Right. So, if we follow the same pattern basically as we did before with yo and yo, we have the masculine aspect, right? And we have the feminine. So this is where we see the construct. Now again, a suffix, these are added to the end of a word, and that would actually change or reconstruct the meaning of that word, right? So at the end of, when these are added to the end of a word, you'll be able to get that change. So we have there, which is in the masculine form, and there in the feminine, when you're speaking in the feminine thing. You will see, so like that, ma. In this case, in the suffix there, we have na, used in the feminine form for there. Right, as soon as you have that done, just let me know.
Yeah.
So I'll be able to, you can actually go into now the construct of words and see where these words are being used. Right? So that's a brief run through. There's a prefix. What's a prefix? A prefix is a word that or letter that adds in the beginning of a word. That gives it a particular context at the beginning. Suffix, same thing. But at the end of a word, it gives it a derivative of what the original word is. So, let's get into actual words that we're using. So, we are basically all or most classes. For those who don't know, or those who just really read the Bible, we have in Matthew 6 and 9, we have the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. And we continue, but most persons could recite it. Most persons religiously just say, you know, you're small coming up, you're just saying, go and pray. Mommy, what go and pray? Say this prayer, our Father, what in heaven, continue like that. But most persons don't know or understand the construct of it. Now, when we get back to our original language, you actually get a greater appreciation for what the word really means, right? And when we say it in the English, it does not have the weight as if we say it in our ancient tongue, which is the Lashawan Qadash, which is the Hebrew, right? So what we're going to write here now is start with the building block, right? All right, the block should be a little more easier to see, right? Which is the Lord's Prayer. Probably one of the most famous prayers. Right? So we have the Lord's Prayer. And most persons could recite it in English, but we know for us in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge that this is bread and butter for us, right? We say this basically every time, right? So the first word or the first construct, so I'm going to write it in ancient Hebrew, please. A, ba, na, wa. Right? Wa. Right? So a, ba, na, wa. Right? So you have a, ba, na, wa. So right here, you have a, Abba, spaghetti. So what can I give an part of this? Right. The Abba now. Right? Select each, yeah. Abba. So lucky. Just fully pray to have all the hands. Both of them. Babu Kusha. Other word is sharp. Shabasha ma. Shabasha ma yam. Right. So we have sha, ba, shaba, shabasha, right? Ma, yam. Sha, ba, sha, ma, yam. So, in context, once you see if you be able to see it properly in Facebook, you all just bear with me. Right. In the construct of Abba. Right, so we have Abba, and then you have Noah. Can anybody remember what Noah means? And that's why we did the first part, so you'll be able to get that context. Actually show how it's being used. This one seems to be kind of short. This one. Right, so we have Abba. Now, Abba means father. Means all. Right. And Noah means our. So Abba Noah. Right? That's how it's pronounced. Abba Noah. Right, so we have.
Yeah, so how do you know? Like they say, Abba Noah.
Yeah, Abba Noah.
Right. Abba first and then Noah, right?
And then Noah. Come. Yeah. So it's Abba Noah. So it's our father.
Right.
So as I explained, the suffix changes the meaning of the word, or gives it a context to what you're actually saying.
Right.
So in here now, remember reading from right to left. So even if we read it here now, we say Abba Noah. So it's our father. word after that. So then we need to get that context of actually how it's pronounced and how it's actually read. Right, so we have Abanawa, which it means our Father. English is written from left to right. We write from ancient Hebrew, right. Sorry, English is written from left to right. Hebrew is right from right to left. Right? So we have Abanawa. We have the other aspect, which is Shabbat Shemayim. So if I put in the connectors, right, just to get understanding, we have Shabbat Shemayim. Shabbat Shemayim. Right? So we're going to see in this case here, we had a suffix being used for the creation of this word. So we're going to go through the rest and see where we have suffix and where we have prefixes. Right? So Shabbat Shemayim, right? Sha, in this case, is a what? Prefix or suffix being used here.
Beginning and we have prefix.
We have prefix. So we have Sha, which means which. Right? What Ba means. Ba means in. In. Now, in this case, we have Sha, Ba, Shamayam. Now, in this context here, this is one word. So we have which, Sha, Ba, and the other word here, Mayam, which means water. So Shamayam means water. When you look in Genesis, you will realize we talk about the waters. And we have the waters above and the waters beneath. What we call the waters above, if anybody can remember. Yeah, go up, Samaka. Firmament or another word. Okay. The other word we use as well is heaven.
Oh, heaven.
Yeah. So Shamayam means heaven. Right? And you construct any word. So when you look at it here now, we have our Father which in heaven. But we just say in English, which art in heaven. But actually supposed to mean our Father, if you read it straight over as how it is our Father in which in heaven or heavens. Right? So you're seeing now the full construction of actually what you're saying in the Hebrew. Because if you, as you say, some of those ancient movies, like how the so-called native Indians used to talk, it was a kind of straight language, a rough language. Come, you, over there. It didn't have no this kind of sing song. Yeah, it was direct. That is a better word. It was a direct, straight language. So what you say is what it is. You understand? So in this case here, it was sung brutish for the so-called Englishman. But this was just direct. You, come here, now. You understand? You understand that pale face? The pale face man can't bring all this so-called homosexual language to make it sweet. You understand? So we have here now, our Father, which in heaven. And the heavens is talking about, that firmament, that that zone or the waters I was talking about in the beginning in Genesis. Alright? So we have Abanawa, Sheba, Shemayim, right? Which translate to water or heavens. Right? So you have done this already?
Done.
So we just want to try a few more, because I know it's a lot to take in. So we just take it piece by piece. As with any language, all you need to do is just grasp the basics. Once you get the basics from there, you can be able to do the constructs like what we do mean. And once you get the meaning and understanding of these, from that you'll be able to put language, our language, the Lashawan Qadash, into practice. And the more you practice it every day, you know, we already know what father means. So we say daddy, papa, and all kind of other language. But in our ancient tongue, we say Abba. You understand? And you have your brother and sister say, that is Abanawa. This is our father. You understand? But here we're talking about, in this case, in the Lord's Prayer, the Most High. Right? So it's in the third person technically. You understand? We're speaking about him in that context. This is our Father. So I'm speaking to you about our Father. So we have that first part. So we have Abanawa, Shabashamayam, our Father which art in heaven. Right? We have the other construct here now, which is Qadash. Qadash. Right? But in this case, it is not pronounced in Qada. Right? So if you look at it, Salakia, you have not ah. In this case, it's pronounced da, straight da. Right? So it's Qua. I will use it green. So it's Qua da sha. Right? So it's Qadash. That's how it's pronounced. Writing in English is Qadash. S-H. No. This is Qadash. If you pronounce it singularly, it's Qadash. But the connector, is what makes the difference. Either you connect the letters or you have them separate. So this connector here joins the letters. This one here makes you pronounce it singular. So you have Qadash. What does Qadash mean? Babu Kasha, if anybody could. What does Qadash mean? What about Samaka?
I think what that's supposed to mean separate.
Right, separate. And what's another word?
Holy.
Holy. We have possibly one more word is used. If something is holy, this area is holy. What another thing is used as well? Sanctified could be a one used as well. Or we say hallowed. Right, so we say our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed or holy is thine. So we have holy or hallowed. This basically means the same thing. Right? Hallowed. Hallowed right? Our Father, which art, or which in heaven, hallowed. And we go to the next construct. Right? Hallowed be thy name. So in the Hebrew, when we pronounce it, how we pronounce it is Abanawa. Shabashamayim. Right? Abanawa, Shabashamayim, Qadash, Hayah. When we say Hayah, Hayah means, actually it's broken up in context, so let's get that. So, Ha, use this. What is Ha, or what is Ha in this context here? A prefix or a suffix? In this case, it would be a prefix. And Ha as a prefix means the, right? So we have the. Right? So we have the, and then we have Yah. Now in this context, Yah, some people, because they don't understand Hebrew, when they did translation, they put it as Jah, which is not a correct translation. Because that letter J is not part of our Hebrew language. Alright? But Yah in this context is in reference or pertaining to, right? Or the proper name, or proper in reference to the Most High. So in this case, there's proper name. Right? So in this context, it's almost referring like in the third person because it's alluding to who you're going to talk to. Right? So we say Abanawa, Shabashamayim, Qadash, which means holy or hallowed, right? The name, the Hayah. Shabashamayim, Qadash, Hayah. Right, you have this done already? I'll just give a minute if you need to figure it out. It's not a problem. Okay. Right? So we're going to get this down. All right. And we're going to move on to the other part of the prayer. Ready? Top already?
Yeah.
So we're seeing how what we learned today in terms of a prefix and a suffix, how it's going to be used and how we can apply it to the same basic building blocks where we say the Lord's Prayer every single day. So now you have a greater appreciation of actually what you're saying in the ancient language and how it could be applied. Right? So we say Abanawa, Shabashamayim, Qadash. So we have now Sham, right? Shamka, right? So okay, Shamka. So Sham, Shamma, Ma, and then you look to the further construction, Shamka. So bigger, right? We have sham, construct again, and ka. These connectors are extremely important because this will definitely make a difference of how the word is being used. With all the connectors, they'll be saying shamaka, but in this case, with the connectors, is shamka. Understand? Right? Just to show that separation. Now, if you can remember, sham means name. Now, if anybody can remember again, what does ka mean? Or in this case, is ka a prefix or a suffix?
A suffix.
Right. And do you remember what ka means? It's very simple as we continue to.
Or yours.
You or your. So remember, in context, it gives it meaning. So in this case, it means your. Right? So we say Abanawa, Shabashamayam, Qadash, Shamka. So we say, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Right? So hallowed be your name. You understand? So that is the construct there. Your name. So we're giving almost talking to him in the third. Your name. Hallowed be your name. Yeah. Yeah, so that is basically how it is. So you see here now, Shamka means your name. So directly when you ask somebody, what's your name? What's your name? So you see the construct now. When you find out what is the other aspect, what is what, it, that, he, the. It's easy to put it, understand the context in what you're saying. And this name that I'm going to write here is something that nobody should take for granted. This name should not be, as we would say, willy-nilly in your mouth. Right? This name is not to be all about on Facebook. You understand? And if anybody could be able to pronounce it, if you can, and again, the connectors would make a big difference because fake Hebrew Israelites or anybody who don't understand the language will say all kind of madness. You understand? In this case here, the construct of this word here, it's like it. No, in this case. Oh, Salaki. Yeah. As he proper. Yeah. That's a shortcut here, right? Right. That's it. So you have ha, wa. You understand? Fake Hebrew Israelites, or those who think they know Hebrew, Haya, Yahawa, all kind of madness he doesn't want to say. But in this context, it's Yahawa. Now, this is not to be just written any way, talked about on Facebook, and just be idle in somebody's mouth. You understand? This is the Lord's name. You understand? The Most High. Right? And this is where in context you'll understand where there's in the aspect of talking, who is Most High, separation between the Most High and any other power. You understand? This is the Most High power. Alright? So it's, in this case, Yah, Yahweh, or in other aspects we have, quite short, the Most High. Right, so we have, as it comes down, say Abanawa, Shabashamayam, Qadash, Hayah, Shamka, Yahweh, saying the Lord's name. In English we will say, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. But his name is what? This is what we see here. This is his name. Yahweh. Hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come as we continue. But in English, they do not know the name of the Most High. You understand? That is not there. That's not them for them to know. But we know this is his name. Not Yahweh, not all the other madness that some of them is going to say. You think they know Hebrew. So it's not Jehovah. You understand? All these kind of, the mere fact that they're saying Jehovah is really idiotic to show that they really do not know and understand ancient Hebrew. Because there's no J in ancient Hebrew. You understand? So the mere point that they actually putting a J in that, showing you that they do understand. And they're trying to create something that is not supposed to be. And this is where the confusion comes in now. So you have Jehovah, you have some people saying Jah, Rastafari, all kind of madness. They do understand Hebrew. You understand? But we here in the I.S.U.P.K, under Commanding General Yahanna, we will teach you your history, your culture, and your language. And this is where you'll get the proper understanding when you're reading and interpreting the scriptures to understand. Go over to what? Just a little. Yeah.
You can't take somebody else's culture.
That's right.
As per se, and try to join it with the culture.
To something else.
So-called white man culture, you can't take it and read it as
that's right.
Or
yeah, you can't take one meaning, understand, and or take a word and turn it to your meaning. The original context of that word, I think they was bringing out in terms of the context of a virgin. Now, virgin in Hebrew is not the same context as virgin in the Western world. A virgin in the Western world is somebody who they think well never had sex before. But in ancient Hebrew, when you understand what the word means, what a virgin is, and the meaning, it means a young woman of marriageable age, whether married or not. It's just a young woman. So you can be married, a young woman, but it's a virgin. But you're married, it's a young woman. So that's the context. So that's an excellent point you brought out there. Understand? So we're just going to go through. We're going to go through one more. Right? Next week we're just gonna browse back through, make sure if you all have any questions on the Facebook, check us out, call us via all the handles that we have on Facebook and on YouTube. Right, so we have Malak, right? So we're going Malak Wafka. Right? So Malak Waf. So when Malak was Ka. So we have Ma, Lak, Waf, Ka. Right? Ma, Malak, Malak, Waf, Ka. Right, so if you look at you have Ma, Lak, Waf, Ka. And Malak was Ka in the first aspect. Look at here, Malak. When I read it up, Malak means king. Malak means king. Waf. Malak Waf. Malak Waf means in the feminine aspect, it means dom or domain. So thy kingdom. Understand? Thy kingdom. Or should say, and Ka, so king or kingdom. And Ka, if you remember in the context of the suffix, means your. So your kingdom come. You understand? So you have Abanawa, Shabashamayim, Qadash, Hayah, Shamka, Yahweh. And we have Malak Wafka. Malak Wafka. Malak means king. Malak Waf means kingdom. Your kingdom. Your kingdom. I'm talking about in the aspect of the Most High's kingdom. Come. You understand? So you're talking in that aspect. So it's thou, or in English we say, thy kingdom come. Which really and truly is the same thing. It's his kingdom. It's your kingdom come. Or thy kingdom come. Right? So your kingdom. Right? So this is just the same building blocks that we use to construct the basics as something as what we call the Lord's Prayer. So next week we're going to continue and let's go a little more deeper. Kind of go try a refresher of what we learned this week. Retrace our steps, get the understanding so we know exactly when we say the Lord's Prayer, it adds context and meaning to everything that we say. If anybody don't know what the Lord's Prayer is, it's in Matthew chapter 6 and verse 9. Begins from there and I give the prayer from start to finish. This is actually what we're going through, which is the Lord's Prayer. And with that, I pass the class to Priest and Officer Barriott.
Security announcements.
Okay. Coming from. Yeah.
Security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K. out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. under commanding General Yahanna. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or a sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or a sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers 18 and 21 and Malachi 3, 8 to 10. Means tenth in Hebrew and is pronounced my I.S.U.P.K. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, you give to the Treasury Department or teacher, priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming holy convocations, that be the Passover,
Lord's Passover,
and wait on further updates from Commanding General Yahanna concerning that. Remind Aquatium and Akium and Aquatium to check on social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for I.S.U.P.K. events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he is to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, like shirts, like pants, like headband or scarf. And with that, you see, I imagine. Let's give the teacher one courtesy salute. I imagine Shabbat. I imagine Barak.
Yahweh Ba'Shem Yoshai
Barakatah.
Yahweh Ba'Shem Yoshai Barakatah.
Yad Yadajimata.
Class dismissed.
Class dismissed.